Good morning, Crimsons. Welcome back. I hope everybody had a wonderful winter break. I'm Miss Smythe, and I am here this morning to review our suicide prevention lesson and talk a little bit about supporting your mental health. So first, let's go over our learning targets for today. After this presentation, you should be able to define what mental health and wellness is. You should know what mental health stigma is and how to break that cycle. You should be able to identify 2 trusted adults in your life, identify ways to check in on friends, identify warning signs of suicide risk, and you should be able to know how to get help both for yourself and a friend who may be struggling. So we're going to have a couple of opportunities to discuss some of the concepts that we're talking about today. In order to do that, we need to set some group norms within your homeroom. So some examples of group norms include listening to others' perspectives and respecting those differences, maintaining confidentiality in regards to the perspectives that are shared, and then also your right to pass. You don't have to share if you don't want to. So take a couple minutes to discuss with your class what your group norms are going to be. All right, so in order to dig in a little deeper about how to be mentally healthy, we first need to be able to define what mental health is. So mental health is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and our behaviors, how we act. And it also helps to determine how we handle stress, how we relate to others interpersonally, and the choices that we make. Some examples of how good mental health looks include the ability to manage hard emotions, like when you're sad, when you're angry, when you're stressed. Having a toolbox of healthy coping mechanisms, and being in a supportive environment. You can pause and read the rest of the list if you'd like. I'm just going to pick some things out because we have some long lists in this presentation. So we're going to talk a little bit more about coping mechanisms or coping skills. These are skills that you can learn to help you through when times get tough. And they look a little different for everybody. So if you are a creative person, you might find a creative outlet as a coping skill. That might look like listening to music or writing or journaling. Getting up and moving is a great coping skill. So exercising, getting outside. And then, of course, communicating openly and often. We're going to talk a little bit more about finding some safe people to communicate to in those moments. But just a few more coping skills first. Being able to foster positive friendships. And just overall, we really encourage everyone to get involved, whether it's extracurriculars at Maynell High School or outside of school. And then, of course, committing to a time for you to unplug, get off your phone, and have some time just to be present and be grounded. All right, so here's a list of protective factors, which are factors in your life that support mental resilience and strength. So if you feel understood and accepted in your life, your chances of having good mental health is going to go way up. If you're connected to a trusted adult, if you have that toolbox of coping skills that we talked about in the last slide, and if you live in a supportive, safe, and stable environment. Trusted adults are people in your life that you view as safe, that are able to listen to you without judgment or expectation, and that you find supportive and helpful. So I want you to take a minute to reflect on that and be able to identify 2 trusted adults in your life, one at school and one outside of school. Trusted adults can be a family member, a coach, a mentor, a teacher. So take a second to think about who your trusted adults are. And we're going to take a minute to pause this video and discuss any of these prompts. I'm going to read them real quick. How does speaking out on mental health help others? How does putting your mental health first impact other parts of your life? What keeps people from asking for help? And how can language help break the stigma around mental health? So now that we've talked a little bit about healthy coping skills, protective factors, and what good mental health looks like, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what poor mental health may look like. And we're going to start with warning signs. So someone who's contemplating suicide may exhibit the following behaviors: a lack of interest in things that were important to them, withdrawing from important people in their lives, emotional distress, and risky behaviors like self-harm. Substance abuse is another one. Giving things away or throwing things away that you know are important to them. Fixating on death or dying. And making comments like, it won't matter much longer, or I'm not going to be a problem for you. And sometimes these comments seemingly are said in jest or like they're joking, but even if you think that's the case, it's important to take these comments seriously. So these are some risk factors, which are really just the opposite of protective factors. If someone has these factors in their lives, it really can put them at risk to becoming more emotionally fragile or engaging in more high-risk behaviors. So that includes getting bullied or being the bully, using substances, experiencing violence, access to lethal means, and engaging in self-harm or having a previous suicide attempt. So even if you are not seeing any of these risk factors or any of these warning signs, it's really just a good rule of thumb to check in with your friends when they're experiencing a big change or a big transition. And this may include breakups or going to a new school, getting in a big fight with their parents or someone in their friend group. These would be really great times for you to check in on your friend and just make sure that they're doing okay. If a friend or anyone in your life ever does express that they're experiencing suicidal thoughts, it's important to not leave that person alone. Find a trusted adult and get help as soon as you can. Even if they tell you not to tell anyone, it's really important that you do. If you can't find help, dial 988, which is a 24-hour crisis line, or 911. And here's some other resources for help if you want to pause here that I wanted to share with you. This list includes the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which is 24 hours. Also, there's a text line, which is also 24 hours. The Trevor Project provides support for LGBTQ youth. And there's also an app called A Friend Asks, which provides crisis support, but also just generally coping skills and other resources. So we're going to end today with some affirmations for you. You are important here at Manual High School. We're here to support you in your mental health, and we're here to help you navigate the next step. And if it's not you, but it's a friend that you're concerned about, we're here for that friend too. So we're here to be your trusted adults, and again, we just want to reiterate that you are important. Here is our mental health team. These are our counselors here at Manual High School. If you do not know who your counselor is, take a second to look at this chart and see, so you are aware. Also, you can reach out to us using the counselor request form, which is on our website for non-emergencies. Before I get into this, I want to take a second to say that this presentation is posted on your grade level Google Classroom. It also includes some videos that I was unable to share while I'm recording this. So if you'd like to watch those videos, those are available to you. But also on your grade level Google Classroom is the student response form. on that same post. So I'm going to need everybody to get out your Chromebooks or your computers and pull up your grade level Google Classroom, and please complete the student response form. It's going to ask you if you need to talk to a mental health professional today, and so go ahead and take a second to fill that out. All right, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy your first day back.